Obituaries brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361, your Dignity Memorial Funeral Home. For burials and cremations, is Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Also brought to you by Earlene's Flowers and More on the Talladega Highway in Sylacauga. Tressie Marie Bates Knight, age 79, of Talladega, died June the 6th. Funeral service this afternoon at 3:30 from Ursery Funeral Home Chapel in Talladega, with burial in the Stockdale Cemetery. The Reverends Martin Murray and Wayne Hester will officiate. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega will direct that service. Funeral service for Diane Barber Weidman of Talladega will be Thursday, June the 9th at 11 a.m. from the Chapel of Ursery Funeral Home. Reverend Corey Burrell and Roy Cordell will officiate. Burial in the Oak Hill Cemetery. The family receiving friends tonight, 6 until 8 at the funeral home. Ms. Weidman died June 7th at her residence. She was a native of Talladega and a member of the Beamiston Baptist Church. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. J.L. Wilson, age 80, died June the 6th. Funeral arrangements to be announced by Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary. Mr. Thomas Jacob Toot Toot Marbury Jr. Died on June the 1st at UAB in Birmingham. Funeral service will be held Thursday, June 9th, 3 o'clock at First Baptist Church in Alexander City, with the family gathering at Cooper Recreation Center immediately following the service. Toot Toot was an icon in Alexander City and the surrounding areas. He was dedicated member of the Early Rose Baptist Church and a graduate of Laurel High School class of 1967. You could find Toot Toot around town in Alexander City. If he was not walking, he'd be sitting on a bench outside the police department greeting people as they pass by. Funeral service for Mr. Thomas Jacob Toot Toot Marbury Jr. of Alexander City will be Thursday, 3 o'clock, First Baptist Church in Alexander City. Funeral service for Glenda Carr, age 73, of Ashland, is Thursday at 2 o'clock from Randy Funeral Home. Randy Anderson officiating. Burial in the Liberty Methodist Church Cemetery. The family receiving friends Thursday noon until 1:30 at the funeral home. Mrs. Carr died Monday, June the 6th. Randy Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for Sandra Dunaway, age 74, is Thursday at 3 p.m. from New Salem Baptist Church. Reverend Tom Drake will officiate. Burial in the Bethlehem New Salem Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. The family receiving friends tonight, 5 until 7 at the funeral home. Mrs. Dunaway died Monday, June 6 at her residence. And memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. That is a look at obituaries this morning, brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Your Dignity Memorial Funeral Home. For burials and cremations, it's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, 256-245-4361. And obituaries brought to you as well by Earlene's Flowers and More. Say it with flowers from Earlene's. For any floral occasion, Earlene's Flowers and More on the Talladega Highway in Sylacauga.